There are new Bitcoin miners that will blow your mind and are absolute passive income monsters. They just dropped the latest and greatest Bitcoin mining machines. Also, some other interesting Bitcoin mining and crypto mining infrastructure has been unveiled there as well. So these machines, just to get right to it, 300 terahash a second. Do you understand that if you compare the incoming Bitcoin miners performance to the last generation of Bitcoin miners, you're basically putting 3 Bitcoin miners into one, all right, and using a similar amount of electricity as just one miner. I'm Vosk. I work very hard to build my own mining farm. I also run the VoskCoin Mining YouTube channel here with an incredible team and other support. So I hope you subscribe and let's start unpacking. Let's get to digging. So a bit of an exciting spoiler. I won't show you exactly what they're doing, but these are mining in liquid right now. These are mining under liquid. They are in immersion fluid. They're in a new exciting immersion deployment out here on the VoskCoin farm. So stay tuned for all that wildness. But I'll just bring up my miners right here to show you, one, how just much of a shrimp I feel like compared to some of these new incoming Bitcoin miners. So I have basically 3 petahash. A couple of my miners are on other mining pools. At 3 petahash, right, that's gonna be like 10 of these new miners. I have 26 miners doing this. This one with the low hash rate basically doesn't matter count. So these S21s are pretty new miners doing around 200 terahash a second. But most of the previous generation miners hash somewhere around 100 to 140 terahash a second. You look at this Antrack that was loaded up with the new S21 XP Hydros. That's one of the new miner models we're going to be talking about today. So that's just a rack, basically like a server rack footprint, mining 1,900 terahash a second. I got a whole farm. I got all kinds of infrastructure and deployment, just things going on, right? And then just you have something the size of your freaking closet, right? A small standard closet that basically nearly as powerful as my farm. It's crazy. The S21 XP Hydro mines at 473 terahash a second. It earns $25.50 per day. Even if you pay a good residential electricity rate of 10 cents per kilowatt hour, you would be pocketing $12, which you would send $5,000 nearly to the electric company over the course of a year. We don't know how much these are going to cost yet. We've seen some placeholder prices. The estimates going around are 11 grand for these machines. There's also the non-hydro versions, like an air-cooled, and also an immersion ready miner, which that is really cool. We'll talk more about that here in a second. But the big miners, the big unveiling, right, the new models are the S21 XP series, coming in at somewhere between $6,600 estimated to 11 grand for a la carte one miner orders. So this is on ASIC Marketplace. They just have this data here and some good information and placeholder prices for us. So they are a supporter of the VoskCoin YouTube channel, and you can support this content by using our referral link down in the video description below. And we also have a coupon code down there to save you some coin. But you're like, well, why don't you just show me the Bitmain site? Because it's not on the Bitmain site, okay? We don't have this information here. We don't have any prices. This is all happening, in basically private sales channels currently. But if you're getting FOMO and you want one of these right now, the estimate for these are Q4 2024. And sometimes Bitmain is late with releases like this. So just understand that and keep that in mind. Are you interested in a new mining pool, perhaps? How about EMCD that boasts that they are state of the art? They have a 1.5% fee, but they have fee-free daily payouts for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum Classic, and Dash. They also support Kaspa mining on their mining pool in conjunction with a multi-currency wallet that has convenient crypto to fiat payouts, as well as a peer-to-peer exchange where you can trade crypto, exchange it with your peers. Learn more about EMCD with our link out in the video description below. Coming in at these price points though, these are interesting miners, especially for industrial giant Bitcoin mining farms. You understand that every major Bitcoin mining farm is not only expanding, they're expanding as fast and hard as they possibly can. So maybe you're not bullish anymore, but they sure as are. So we look at the performance: 300 terahash a second at 4,050 watts, 270 terahash a second at 3,645 watts. So this is not very different from an Antminer S21, and it hashes at about 70 terahash a second more. The S21 XP is clearly just an overclocked version. It's using more juice, and it has 30 more terahash a second. That's giving you better density if you have immersion ready equipment. If you have immersion equipment deployed, right? Like we love our fog hashing units in particular. I can just take out my old stuff, drop this right in. It is ready to go. I don't need to worry about aftermarket firmware unless I want to. I don't need to throw fan spoofers in there. It even has handles built in, which has been a very nice feature that the fog hashing immersion tanks come with that their competitors currently do not. But let's look over here a little bit more for the absolute insanity of 473 terahash a second, right? So let me just put this further into perspective for you if you're not an active Bitcoin miner. I have a lot of last generation Bitcoin miners, basically Antminer S19s, and I have them underclocked to be very efficient. So we look at my hash rate. A lot of these are coming in at like, 70 to 80 terahash a second, all basically on the same settings. And this is the difference between what you will see from the same miner models and maybe in a different position in the tank or just doing a little bit worse, right? There's the silicon lottery. Some chips are just simply better than others. So let me just kind of break this down. So we've got 473, right, divided by 80. Okay, so that miner is basically 6 of my miners, and that's crazy. These are underclocked, so they're using around 2,000 watts each. So we'll just leave it at that number for easy math. So 2,000 watts each, that's basically 3 of these. So this uses half the electricity of 6 of my S19s, all right, with basically the same hash rate as 6 of these underclocked S19s with the footprint of 1. Okay, so if I have the electrical capacity, I can take 6 S19s out of, say, my fog hashing 6 miner tank. I can put 6 of these in there, okay, and I will have the same footprint, okay, go from 400 and we'll just say 73 terahash a second to 2,838 terahash a second. I can have 6 miners replicate my entire mining farm of 26 miners. Damn! The density here is wild, and some people don't get that. The biggest things that major mining farms, I'm talking publicly traded mining farms, deal with, they deal with just the density, right? They deal with infrastructure. They spend so much money on infrastructure. They will happily pay a premium for miners that will allow them to vastly expand their mining capabilities without vastly expanding their infrastructure. Any Bitcoin miner that wants to stay in the game, they're going to be looking to recycle S19s and move to S21s. And you can forget your pipe dream about an old ancient 2017 era Antminer S9 doing 13.5 terahash a second for 1,000 watts. See you later, buddy. It's over. It's gone. This information was unveiled at the WDMS conference, which is basically one of Bitmain's crypto conferences. We got a DM with these specs and tried to cool guy leak them a little bit beforehand, but more information came out after that, which we've already basically broken down with these minor models. In addition to those minor model releases, they also released a whole new suite of mining containers, basically. So they're taking basically a 40-foot container footprint and putting the immersion dry coolers on top of it. So you just drop this and you have a immersion mining farm, plug and play. It's wild density too. So, we got a shipping container here that will let you deploy 160 miners in immersion. Here's another 40-foot mining container that has a dry/wet tower, which is different, but similar, 210 miner capacity. What you'll really want to focus on too is going to be the electrical capabilities. There's a big jump here with the miner capacity, but not the electrical footprint. Meaning, some of these are better suited for higher energy use miners and more density. But wait, there's more. They got the HK3. So this has a dry wet tower and a dry tower. And we were even seeing mining equipment being, sold off the shelf, sort of, right? With a solar roof. We got heaters, sand filters, air conditioners, solar roof, heat recovery, an upgraded dry tower. I'm about to fucking move in, dude. I'm about to... This is starting to get closer to a house than it is a mining farm. But seriously, right, like this sort of infrastructure that you can just order off the shelf like that, you understand that miner infrastructure manufacturers cannot keep up with demand. That's how hot the sector is. You look at the general market sentiment, you look at the average retail investor, they may feel suppressed, depressed, down, generally negative. But that's not the case with major Bitcoin mining farms and either other major mining farms. We're seeing some big miners start to expand into altcoin mining very seriously here as well. So we're going to see our first publicly traded Dogecoin focused mining farms, Caspa focused mining farms, among others moving forward. The mining game, the crypto game is absolutely changing, evolving, and growing. And it's very interesting, right? You even think about manufacturer growth over the years. We have a ready release here with a hydro model, an immersion model, and a classic air-cooled model. Let me just tell you that running a dry cooler is more efficient than running 2 high-powered fans on the front and back, so 4 fans per miner, than it is to just have this thing in a tank. Furthermore, you have 3 fans on the power supply that are consuming electricity as well. All these things are creating basically parasitic loss in your mining farm profitability, your mining operation. Furthermore, these are all moving parts. They will break, they will fail. They do not last forever. So they're not the only game in town though. The Bitmain Antminer Ant boxes didn't do too well, which really opened the door for some competitors. Digital Shovel in particular really carved out a niche in the mining infrastructure market by making these dense, basically plug and play. They're not actually a mining container, but they're basically a custom mining container, right? And so we have a mini pod out on our farm. We have the M300. We received a basically one-off 208 version that Scott produced. So that was a very cool opportunity to meet him and have the opportunity to review that. So since then, he's moved to new PDUs that can operate on single phase and 3-phase electricity. Those are basically about to come out. He's also about to release the Nanopod, which is a really well-suited mining solution for small-scale miners, right? So you can deploy this on single phase as well as 3-phase electricity. And depending on your electrical capacity, you can power up to 27 Antminer S19s or 35 Watts miners. It's 120 kilowatt capacity. So in essence, you could deploy 27 X21 miners, S21 XP miners, like these new Bitcoin miners. Maybe with the additional juice they need, you might be down to 26, right? But these pictures really don't do it justice. Like this is small. This is very small. Even the mini pod is smaller than you would think it is. And I'm really excited because Scott is upgrading all of the fans. My biggest gripe that I've had with my mini pod is going to be the fact that these fans have failed numerous times. But he's upgrading them to direct drive fans, so they should move more air, they should be quieter, and they should last exponentially longer. So that's just going to become standard feature on these moving forwards. And Scott's great about giving people the opportunity to upgrade their existing stuff. Like you want or need to upgrade the PDUs to the new ones, that'll be an option. You can upgrade the fans. He's going to roll out a filter replacement program. And he's even broken off things as unique solutions, like you can just buy the awnings, or some people contact him and order just the bus bars, because sometimes ordering your infrastructure that way can make more sense for a mining farm. And then there's also fog hashing, which is rolling out basically ready-made immersion mining containers and other mining solutions as well. So the mining landscape is rapidly evolving, growing, changing, and honestly, I'm just trying to keep up with it. So this is the latest just data dump on you guys. These new miners, at the time of recording this video, will be pulling about 25 bucks a day. Bitcoin's trading at 65 grand. Your electric cost, of course, may vary. I am Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel, home of the CWO, the Chief Water Officer here at VoskCoin. You may be thinking we're talking hydro. No, Tails' mortal enemy and also BFF is going to be the host. So it's time for me to go play with that pup in the yard. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you like the content. I'll see you later.